So we were talking about this subject yesterday, about this painfully unfunny fatso called Ethan Klein, or H3H3, where he made a comment about wanting people to go to Ted Cruz's house and harass him in the wake of the happenings in Texas. Now, people can say it was just jokes, man, and coupled with the previous hilarious joke he said seconds before, where he wanted people to go to the NRA convention and bomb it because he doesn't agree with them politically, it didn't feel much like a joke, to be honest. And to be a joke, it should be funny and not come off as some loser seething, which is what it came off as to the vast majority of normal people, not his strange, deranged fans, of course, which again, he should know he has cultivated an extremely low IQ, woke fan base, and people like this are very susceptible to influence. Look at the actual people reading outside the NRA convention, for instance. To put ideas into those type of people's heads is quite dangerous. These people are dumb enough to do something like that. They're screeching so hard they're almost knocking themselves unconscious, for God's sake. That's their level. And I mentioned, if a right-wing person had made the same joke/threat, they would have immediately been banned and put on some kind of watch list. But H3H3 gets to sit with his horse and carry on doing his terrible podcast like nothing happened. Except, that's not true and I was wrong. Ethan Klein has been banned from YouTube. Only for a week, but at least that is 1 week less of H3H3 content for the world to endure. So let's take the small wins, everybody. He went on Twitter to announce it. Now, I don't know how he does this, but he really has mastered the I want to sound like the biggest beta whiner the world has ever seen in audio form and the written word. It's quite the talent. He writes here, "Conservatives got so triggered over jokes I told and mass reported me. I got banned for a week and the episode was removed. If only they cared about kids as much as they do jokes. So I want to say sorry. Sorry you all are such pathetic snowflakes. F the NRA and F Abbott." Well, that is some top level seething and dilation right there. So that's nice to see. However, the Conservatives got triggered by jokes and they're pathetic snowflakes. I'm sorry, my obese little buddy. Didn't you completely lose your mind for a week straight when Joe Rogan and his fans were calling you fat and joking about it? When you were trying to pretend you were a health guru and knew more about health than Joe Rogan and the entire internet called you out and laughed at you? You did seem very upset about that. But it was just jokes, bro. Why were you so triggered, you pathetic snowflake? So obviously this guy's a huge hypocrite. We all know that anyway. But he goes on, and I can't do a Xanax voice, so I'm not even going to try doing an impression of him in this video. "I want to make it clear that I don't advocate for violence of any kind. That is obvious to anyone that watched that segment and not just a 10-second clip that was used to misdirect attention. Republicans are now the party of dead children and nothing can misdirect away from that." Wasn't really that much of a joke though, was it? Everyone who works for you in the studio thought you were seriously cringe for saying it, or were they just acting because they're great actors if that's the case and wasted as your lackeys? And then obviously we were talking about leftists, so of course they cannot admit to any wrongdoing, and instead they must make themselves the victim. So here he goes. "All that being said, I've never received so many death threats and anti-Semitic shit in my life. A lot of conservatives really hate Jews." Oh, of course, the old death threats and anti-Semitism trope. We never get to see any of this though, do we? Ever. We always have to just take their word for it. Now, I don't doubt he got a ton of hate for his comments. Of course he did. What he said was completely ludicrous and abhorrent. And even if they were only jokes, what he said was even more ludicrous and even more abhorrent because they were the least funny jokes of all time. I mean, the premise was, I want everyone who disagrees with me dead. Ha 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 ha, please clap. That's not a funny joke at all. It's not a joke. So yeah, he's the real victim in all of this, guys. Spare a thought for Ethan Klein, the poor little darling. I'm not joking either. If he actually was joking, genuinely feel sorry for him. That's more pathetic than making threats, if he considers that to be a joke. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks, boy.